consecutive win and a 26th in the last 28 games tonight, 10 Eastern time, when they take on Draymond Green and the Golden State Warriors. Spurs Warriors, 10 Eastern time, ESPN. Welcome back to the warm-up presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. So that matchup out west, San Antonio has been red hot. And the other night, Stephon Castle was brilliant. Devin Vassell pitched in. They've just been on a roll. Golden State enters the night. They're locked into the play-in tournament, and they're 2 games shy of Portland. They're targeting towards that 9-10 game. Whether it's against Portland or the Clippers, we'll see. Victor Wembanyama, we got to show you this. It's unbelievable what he's doing. I don't even have words. I watched it the other night in person. He had a season-high 41. He had 16 rebounds. And, guys, he told me after the game he didn't feel he was good enough and that the team should have been better. These splits are ridiculous. Nikias, what can you say about Victor's March?
I start with yes. I think that's kind of how you have to start with Victor Wembanyama. But in all seriousness, he has been such a destructive force on both ends of the floor. Obviously, it pops the most defensively. You see 3.7 blocks per game. That probably tells enough of the story. But the amount of drives that end prematurely because Victor Wembanyama is in the paint pops on film anytime you watch him. The way that his communication has grown as the Spurs have looked to keep him lower on the floor has popped on film pretty much all year long. And offensively, the playmaking is getting better. The double teams that bothered him in that first Phoenix Suns matchup earlier this year, bubbles don't bother him in the same way now. He's mapping out and diagnosing defenses better. The drives feel better. The face-up games feels better. Anytime he's involved in a pick and roll, he is drawing multiple eyeballs. So even if he doesn't get it, something's opening up elsewhere. And with the Spurs having this amount of drivers around them, the offense is just insane and has been insane for most of the year. I think you hinted at it earlier in the show, Fanta. Like, he's playing like the best player in basketball right now. I want to see a playoff series first before I can ultimately get there. But he has been that good. He deserves to be in that conversation. That's why he's in MVP conversations right now.
I'll be quick. Command and control on both ends of the floor. He does what he wants defensively and holds that down for them. And offensively, you see the confidence grow every single night.
It's ridiculous. He is just making history every time he steps on the floor. He's got eyeballs. He's got the world's eyeballs on him right now. And the Frenchman is something absolutely special. He has taken the Spurs on a joy. Yeah, I think that says it all right there, Steve. I see you nodding. What Eric Spoelstra says about Boston. They have found ways to win all throughout the season. It's been one of the more impressive things. I mean, the majority of folks did not have the Boston Celtics as the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference.
No. I mean, I think, one, Coach Spo and Coach Mazzulla, two of my favorite coaches to hear talk about the game, because you learn so much about their respective teams based on what they say. And Spo bringing it up, the last 2 regular season matchups, that he had a double-digit lead in the first quarter, only for the Celtics to come back and win that game. And I think when you go back to what Coach Mazzulla said, he literally laid out what this Celtics team is when he was asked about what's it mean to be a teammate. You got to put winning first. You got to understand your teammates. You got to know you're a part of something bigger than yourself. That's this Celtics team. They don't turn the ball over. They protect the paint and swarm. They attack, get up threes, and they know the assignment every single night. And so that's been one of the biggest keys for Boston this year, and a reason why they've been so consistent and turned so many heads and put themselves in this position to capitalize on.
Yeah, to that end, Steve, they've been one of my favorite watches in the league this year, just because of how relentless they've been on both ends of the floor. Joe Mazzulla, a front runner for Coach of the Year for that very reason. This is going to be our principles offensively. This is what we want to get to. This is the level of drive and kick we want to get to. These are the screening and spacing principles that we have. Defensively, we're ramping up the pressure, but ultimately, y'all aren't getting to the rim against us. This is the level of help that we want to have. These are non-negotiables for us. If you do not execute what we are trying to set up, you are sitting next to me. I am bringing in these young guys who are absolutely going to do so. And Eric Spoelstra is kind of cut from the same cloth. Like, the way that we go about things may shift because of the personnel, but ultimately, we are going to get after you defensively, no matter what the scheme actually is. And offensively, we want to keep pressure on you with this offensive shift. Like, it's been fun watching both of these teams find themselves this year.
And think about this. Jason Tatum, from people think he's not going to come back, really? He's the Eastern Conference. He is. There's a reason why this guy carries an MVP label, and any slander, any oh, he can't do this, he can't do. No, he just performed the ultimate comeback, Nikias.
He is one of, especially when at his full tilt, he's one of the best players that we have in the league. He's one of the most valuable and versatile players that we have in the league. And it's been fun watching the shot making kind of catch up to what some of the mental processing has been since he's been back. Early on, okay, the jumper isn't falling, but he's getting downhill. Finishing may not be there, but he's seeing the creases. He's attacking on time. If you send a second defender in any kind of context, he's making the right pass, and you have pristine passing placement on top of that. And defensively, he's starting to get more of his legs. And that all culminates into what we've seen this past week, to where you are seeing, oh, the drives are hitting. I'm getting to the line. The playmaking continues to pop. The defense feels better. Now you can move me around the board like you have been doing, and you can't get a beat on me or the rest of my team. It's been fantastic watching Jason Tatum play at this level.
I think it's just been building blocks for Jason Tatum to come back. Obviously, I'm sure he wanted to come back and be the Jason Tatum of old, but it takes time. And so I think he's in a scenario where this Boston Celtics team has played so well, partially because of Jaylen Brown and his efforts, but they don't necessarily need Jason Tatum to make every single play. So as Jason Tatum gets back in rhythm, he can go ahead and ease into this a little bit. His playmaking has jumped off the page. It's not easy to go from being that kind of talent and make those kind of reads immediately when you return. And so is it the shot that opens up the drive? Is it the drive that opens up the shot? You can see when he's trying to rev up and get in that paint and get a paint touch. You can see when he's getting to his spot and getting a shot up. So you have the playmaking. He's a pressure point for the Celtics offense as far as defenses have to pay attention to me. You don't want to switch certain matchups. You can use me as a screener. You don't want to necessarily let me have a one-on-one isolation. I can open things up for Boston in the half court. And so I think his work building up and kind of just being able to hit the ground running to a degree as he's still trying to find exactly what the footwork's going to look like, it's been really impressive. I think it's going to give them a boost come playoff time.
Big one tonight for Miami. Miami had lost on Sunday by 17 to the Pacers. Then they responded by beating the Sixers the very next night, 119 to 109. In that game, Tyler Hero had 30 points. Tyler Larson with 20, Bam with 23, 16, and 6. You think about these two franchises, too. We're at that point of the year where playoff consistency, its value. Think about this. I mean, longest active playoff streak by a team. I also think like Minnesota being fourth most. I'm not sure if everybody would realize they're fourth most. Denver, certainly their pedigree. But, I mean, you talked about these two coaches, and Boston's got so much rich tradition. And with what Coach Stevens built, and now with what Joe Mazzulla's done, and then Miami, I mean, the Heat, the Heat culture is real. Their toughness is real. You don't want to draw them in the first round of the playoffs if they're able to make it on the play-in. Steve, what can make Miami dangerous?
I think for me, it kind of ties into what Coach Spo was saying, and it's that they have such a high level of care factor within this team, and they are understanding the assignment, understanding the opportunities in front of them. And so it's just a matter of, can they consistently sustain over 48 minutes? I think with the offensive portion of the program, they're going to drive the basketball. Can we get Tyler Hero in rhythm? Can we get him to the right spots? Can we mix in some pick and roll for him? Can we find a consistency when the shots don't fall? And so I think we've seen that. But now defensively, can we combine that? Can we mix in zone? Can we feel better about those stops? Can we get some easy ones? It's part of why I think the Philadelphia win they had was so important, because they had to respond to a high quality, talented team, and their offensive conviction was able to carry them in that fourth quarter. So can they build on that and put themselves in position to where, hey, you don't necessarily want to deal with us, not just because we can defend you and throw zone at you, but we will just continue to fly around the basketball court and get our shots up.
Oh, I think that's fair, Steve. And I think a lot of this starts with the defensive end. As much as the conversation has been around Miami's offense and how drastically it's shifted from last year to this year, the defense has always been the hallmark for Eric Spoelstra. And during this most recent stretch, the Heat 2-7 in their last 9 games, they've allowed an offensive rating of 130 or more in 6 of those 9 games. That is not even close to the level that Miami wants to be at, as they are overall a top 10 defense again this year. And so to that Sixers game, as much as Tyler Hero lost his mind late in that game, one of the biggest possessions for him was him getting isolated or switched on to Joel Embiid, getting a stop. You do not bank on Tyler Hero to do that super consistently against centers, but just in general, they defended much better as that game closed out. And that's the level that they have to continue to tap into. Again, they've been good overall this year, so I don't want to hang there too long. But this recent stretch has been a poor one. Eric Spoelstra was like, hey, as he talked about the care factor, you want to see that defensively in order for them to win this particular matchup against Boston. As Spo alluded to, as Steve alluded to, they played them well this year. They haven't been able to seal the deal. They're going to have to guard this group, especially if Jason Tatum's playing like this.
Yeah, no question about it. And if they are allowing a team to have a 120 plus offensive rating, and if that team's the Boston Celtics, Boston's going to make it 9 wins in the last 11 games. Plain and simple. 7:30 Eastern Time, ESPN. Miami better bring their defense. They're at home tonight. Let's see if they can get something cooking in South Beach and make it back